Hi, welcome back to a new episode of the Greatest Book Club in the world, the Book Club. Yeah. And today, guys, we're on extremely episode because today, guys, we're on episode number 329, guys. 329, can you guess it? So many episodes, guys. I really love it. And I really appreciate the fact that you choose to be with me during the process. And you can see, today, let's just make a recap. It's 24 on March 2012. The subs count, we have 2 subscribers of the channel, total views 316, and this is right, this started right for the date, not of the date of releasing the episode, but the date of the recording of the episode. And just in my mind, just woke me, I'm going to see it, watch this episode in 10 years from now, 20 years, 100 years from now. So this is how the cell phones look like in this day. See, you got it on. You got the camera behind. This is, I don't know what is this thing. So you can put it to your computer, type C, everything. And this is 8 earphones inside here. Now it's charging, and you can open it like this. And this is the headphone 1 and 2. You put it inside the head, something like this, and then you can listen to music with Bluetooth. So just want to show you how things look like in 2022. This is my headphones from 2012 and 15 from Germany, and until now I use them. I'm really nice on my head, on my ears, and use them for making motivation. And that's it, guys. So guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're already familiar with the channel, welcome back. My name is Zaki, I'm the host. You know, this podcast, guys, we're working together on speaking level and on communication skills to stand in front of the camera and to get better from the camera. I'm doing this podcast because I truly believe that English is the number one tool that each one of us must acquire in order to be successful in life. And the second tool that is going to help us a lot is to know how to get better from the camera. And guys, if you take those 2 skills and you can combine them together, you can create great content to the internet, and you can influence billions of people all around the world. And it's maybe I don't recommend to do this thing, and you can influence billions of people around the world with the internet and all of the universe. If you're watching it in 1 million years from now, you can use it. And guys, yeah, and guys, and I hope that by sharing with you guys my own journey, my ups and downs, my failures, my success, the obstacles that I was facing from doing the process of podcasting 5 extreme episodes per week, and all what comes in. I hope to inspire people like you, the ladies and gentlemen that are watching the podcast like you, maybe like you, to also do the same, to share message with the world, inspire the world, and work on English. It's really important in my eyes to share your message with the world for the generation that will come. Just record yourself and document yourself, put it online, and just let it be in the human history. So guys, today we got this epic scene behind us. It's in the future. You can see it's, I don't know, when people are putting all the stuff in the space, and it's not so good. So now these angels are cleaning this. And if you want to check out this angel, you know where you can find them on 3, 2, 1, bam! You can find them on Good Fun. And this great background for the Good Fun by Nazar Zemeduzan all. Our favorite on 24 September 2018, and it's downloaded already 294 times, guys. And of course, we like it because we want to show appreciation to the artist. And if you want, and guys, if you want to download the picture, you just need to choose the resolution from here. Press download. Right click on the picture, go to שמירת תמונה בשם Libre, save pictures in English, and type them come below. I want it in one language, and all of us we need to guess for bearing all around the universe. Press on it. Choose the moment to save it on the computer. Press save and just like that, you will get this great background on the computer. So thank you very much for the artist who made this great background, and thank you very much for Muzanol for sharing it with us. And this is a mouse, how you control the computer in 2022. I don't know, maybe in 1 million years from now, you got a chip in your mind and you can do it by your own. And guys, today we continue our journey with influence, the psychology of persuasion, chapter 1, weapons of influence, and by Robert D. Cialdini. Good book. I learned a lot from it for the last episode, and I really look forward to this episode today to continue to learn how to influence and how we get influenced by other people, it's going to be a really art to that I think it's worth to master. And guys, if you want to check out this again background, don't forget to check out Robert B. Cialdini social media account or the book. Got all the link to the description below, so make sure to check them out, like them, and learn from them. And guys, if any one of you have any suggestions for me, I can put myself for the podcast, or if any one of you want to come to the podcast, be a guest on the podcast, share with them the world, inspire the world, make a difference because you are here. And have a great time with me in English, because you know I'm a really nice guy. In English, please let me know in the comment below so we can arrange it. And guys, you are more than welcome. If you learn something new to the channel, maybe something nice for the book, maybe something that I said, maybe if you have life wisdom that you want to share with us, you're more than welcome to share it with us before the community, to share it before the community in the comment section below, so all of the community can improve ourselves and enrich our lives thanks to you. So thank you very much. And one is feeling, guys, before we move to the book, if you enjoy the process, if you enjoy the podcast, and if you learn something new from the channel, please consider to share and support by liking the video, if you find, subscribe to the channel, put the notification bell so you can get it. Ting. Only time is extremely exciting episode coming to YouTube, and it's going to be 5 extremely exciting episodes per week, so make sure to put the notification bell. Guys, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks from your side, and it's really going to have made a big impact on me, so thank you very much if you can consider to do it. And shout out to the 2 subscribers and 316 total views of the channel. And guys, so now, guys, without any introduction, let's just dive right into the book. So, Influence, the Power of the Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini, page 15 to 18. Read what I mean, the legend of Anna is the man. Mr. John, please. Mr. John, please. Mr. John, please. So, boy, yeah. So let's go. So, guys, we finished our last episode with the story about these Robert friends. She saw the Tonkies stones. Now let's see what happened. Although they probably did not realize it, by reacting solely to the past features of the Tonkies, they were planning a shortcut version of battling the odds. Instead of stacking gold odds in their favor by trying painstakingly to master each of the things that indicate the worth of Tonki's jewelry, they were counting on just one, the one they knew to be usually associated with the quality of any item. They were betting the price alone would tell them all they needed to know. This time, because someone mistook a F for a 2, they bet wrong. But in the long run, overall the past and future situations of their lives, betting those shortcut odds may represent the most rational approach possible. In fact, automatic stereotyped behavior is prevalent in much of human action, because in many cases it is the most efficient form of behavioring, and in other cases it is simply necessary. You and I exist in an extraordinarily complicated stimulus environment, easily the most rapidly moving and complex that has ever existed on this planet. To deal with it, we need shortcuts. We can be expected to recognize and analyze all the aspects in each person, event, and situation. In situation we encounter in even one day. We haven't the time, energy, or capacity for it. Instead, we must very often use our stereotypes, our rules of thumb, to classify things according to a few key features, and then to respond mindlessly when one or another of those triggers features is present. Sometimes the behavior that unrolls will not be appropriate for the situation, because not even the best stereotypes and trigger features work every time. But we accept their imperfection, since there is really no other choice. Without them, we would stand frozen, cataloging appraising, and calibrating. As the time for action as the time for action sped by and away. And from all indications, we will be relying on them to an even greater extent in the future. As the stimuli saturating, our lives continue to grow more intricate and variable. We'll have to depend increasingly on our shortcuts to handle them all. The renowned British philosopher Alfred North Whitfield recognized this inseparable quality of modern life when he asserted that civilization advanced by extending the number of operations we can perform without thinking about them. Take, for example, the advanced offer to civilization by the discount coupon, which allows consumers to assume that they will receive a reduced purchase price by presenting the coupon. The extent to which we have learned to operate mechanically on that assumption is illustrated in the experience of one automobile tire company. Mailed out coupons that, because of a printing error, offered no savings to recipients produced just as much customer response as did their free coupons that offered substantial savings. The obvious but instructive point here is that we expect this discount coupons to do double duty. Not only do we expect them to save us money, we also expect them to save us the time and the mental energy required to think about how to do it. In today's world, we need the first advantage to handle a pocketbook strain, but we need the second advantage to handle something potentially more important, brain strain. It is odd that despite their current widespread use and looming feature importance, most of us know very little about our automatic behavior patterns. Perhaps that is so precisely because of the mechanistic, unthinking manner in which they occur. Whatever the reason, it is vital that we clearly recognize one of their properties. They make us terribly vulnerable to anyone who doesn't know how they work. To understand fully the nature of our vulnerability, another glance at the work of the ethologist is in order. It turns out that those animal behaviorists with their recorded chips and the clumps of colored breast feathers are not the only ones who have discovered how to activate the behavior tapes of various species. There is a group of organisms, often termed mimics, that copy the trigger features of other animals in an attempt to trick those animals into mistakenly playing the right behavior tapes at the wrong times. The mimic will then exploit this altogether inappropriate action for its own benefit. Take, for example, the deadly trick played by the killer females of one genus, genus of firefly, Photoris, on the males of another firefly genus, Photinus. Understandably, the Photinus males scrupulously avoid contact with the bloodthirsty porous females, but through centuries of experience, the female hunters have located a weakness in their prey, a special blinking courtship code by which members of the victims species tell one another they are ready to mate. Somehow the force male, female, is cracked the 40s courtship code. But making the flagship mating singles for the foreign prey. The murderers is able to feast on the bodies of males with trigger the courtship tapes because cause them to fly mechanically into deaths, not love's embrace. Insects seem to be the most severe exploiters of the automaticity of the prey. It is not uncommon to find the victims duped to death, but less uncompromising forms of exploitation occurs as well. There is, for instance, a little fish, the saber-toothed blenny, that takes advantage of an unusual program of cooperation worked out by members of two other species of fish. The cooperating fish form a Matt and Jeff team consisting of a large grouper fish on the one end and a much smaller type of fish on the other end. The smaller fish serves as a cleaner to the larger one, which allows the cleaner to approach it and even enter its mouth to pick up a fungus and other parasites that have attached themselves to the big fish's teeth or gills. It is a beautiful arrangement. The big grouper gets cleaned of harmful pests, and the cleaner fish gets an easy dinner. The larger fish normally devours any other small fish foolish enough to come close to it. But when the cleaner approaches, the big fish suddenly stops all movement and floats open mouthed and nearly immobile in response to an undulating dance that the cleaner performs. This dance appears to be the trigger feature of the cleaner that activates the dramatic passivity of the big fish. It also provides a saber-toothed blenny with an angle, a chance to take advantage of the cleaning ritual of the corporators. The blenny will approach the large predator, copying the undulations of the cleaner's dance and automatically producing the tranquil, unmoving posture of the big fish. Then, true to his name, it will quickly rip a mouthful from the larger fish's flesh and dart away before its startled victim can the startled victim can recover. There is a strong but sad parallel in the human jungle. The 12 exploiters will mimic trigger features for our own brand of automatic responding. Anags are mostly instinctive response sequences of non-humans. Our automatic tapes usually develop from psychological principles or stereotypes we have learned to accept. Although they vary in their forms. Some of those principles possess a tremendous ability to direct human action. We have been subjected to them from such an early point in our lives, and they have moved us about so pervasively since then that you and I rarely perceive their power. In the eyes of others, though, each such principle is a detectable and ready weapon. A weapon of automatic influence. There is a group of people who know very well where the weapons of automatic influence lie and who employ them regularly and expertly to get what they want. They go from social control to social and control, requesting others to comply with their wishes. The frequency of success is dazzling. The secret of their effectiveness lies in the way they structure the requests, the way they arm themselves with the arms, and the way they arm themselves with one or another of the weapons of influence that exist within the social environment. To do this might take no more than one correctly chosen word that engages a strong psychological principle and set an automatic behavior tape rolling within us. And trust the human exploiters to learn quickly exactly how to profit from our tendency to respond mechanically according to those principles. Remember my friend, the jewelry store owner, although she benefited by accident by the first time. It did not take her long to begin exploiting the expensive equal good stereotype regularly and intentionally. Now, during the tourist season, the first the she first tries to speed the sale of an item that has been difficult to move by increasing its price substantially. She claims that this is marvelously cost effective. When it works, when it works on the unsuspecting vacationaries, 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 as it frequently does, it results in an enormous profit margin. And even when it is not initially successful, she can mark the article reduced from, and sell it at its original price while still making advantage of the expensive equal good reaction to the inflated figure. By no means is my friend original in this last use of the expensive equal good rule to snare those seeking a bargain. Altruist and author Leo Austin gives the example of the Drubeck brothers, Sid and Larry, who owned a men's tailor shop in Boston neighborhood while he was growing up in the 1920s, 30s. Whenever the salesman, Sid, had a new customer trying on suits in front of the shop three-sided mirror, he would admit to a hearing problem, and as they talked, he would repeatedly request that the man speak more loudly to him. Once the customer had found a suit he liked and had asked for the price, Sid would call to his brother, the tailor, at the back of the room. Harry, how much for this suit? Looking up from his work and greatly exaggerating the suit's true price, Harry would call back, for the beautiful all-wool suit, $42. Pretending not to have heard as a copying his hand to his ear. $42. Pretending not to have heard and copying his hand. And pretending not to have heard and copying his hand to his ear. Sid would ask again. One more and would reply, $42. At this point, Sid would turn the At this point, Sid would turn to the customer and report. He says $22. Many a man would hurry to buy the suit and scramble out of the shop with his expensive equal good bargain before poor Sid discovered the mistake. There are several components. There are several components shared by most of the weapons of automatic influence to be described in this book. We have already discussed two of them. The nearly mechanical process by which the power within those weapons can be activated, and the consequent exploitability of this power by anyone who knows how to trigger them. A third component involves the way that the weapons of automatic influence lend their force to those who use them. It's not that the weapons, like a set of heavy clubs, provide a conspicuous arsenal to be used by one person to bloodgun another into submission. The process is much more sophisticated and stable. With proper execution, the exploiters need hardly strain a muscle to get their way. All that is required is to trigger the great storms of influence that already exist in the situation and direct them towards the intended target. In this sense, the approach is not unlike that. The approach is not unlike that of the Japanese martial art form called jiu-jitsu. A woman employing jiu-jitsu would utilize their own strength only minimally against an opponent. Instead, she would exploit the power inherent in such naturally present principles as gravity, leverage, momentum, and inertia. If she knows how and when to engage the action of those principles, she can easily defeat a physically stronger rival. And so it is for the exploiters of the weapons of automatic influence that exist naturally around us. The exploiters can commission the power of those weapons for use against their targets while exerting little personal force. This last feature of the process allows the exploiters an enormous additional benefit: the ability to manipulate without the appearance of manipulation. Even the victims themselves tend to see their compliance as determined by the action of natural forces rather than by the designs of the person who profits from that compliance. And guys, guess what? This is the end of the episode. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you choose to invest your time in me, and I really hope that you learned something new from this great episode. And guys, I can't wait to see you all in tomorrow episode of the Greatest Book Club in the World, the AK Book Club. Until then, take off safe, have a great time, and bye-bye. So guys, today is Thursday, 24 on March 2022, and time now it's 19:48. This is the third episode that I'm making today, and I don't know if I'm going to record 4 episodes or 5. I think that I told myself that I'm going to record 5, so I think I'm going to record 5. But anyway, guys, I hope that you learned something new and you enjoyed the episode. יום חמישי, 24/3/2022, השעה עכשיו היא 7:48 בערב. זה הפרק השלישי אני מקליט היום. זה לגמרי אחלה ספר, באמת שאני נהנה מהספר. עכשיו נראה מה קורה. נמשיך ככה להקליט, אולי נזיז טיפה את המחשב, נראה. את העמדה, יום UFC 272, סוף סוף. מסוידול נגד קולבי קובינגטון. חוכם מסוידול, יאללה שבהצלחה, להתראות.